78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, go ahead and share this joint. So check it out, man. Shout out to Carcino. I seen Carcino talking about this on his page. So I look it up, and sure enough, there's a woman out here alleging to have some type of relationship with Stephen A. Smith. She claims to be Mrs. Stephen A. Smith. She's calling herself that on social media, calling herself Mrs. Stephen A. Smith. And she's alleging some interesting things that I'm going to play for you, and then we'll come back and I'll give my reaction to what she's talking about here. All right? Y'all bear with me here.
Hey, y'all. You ready for a little story time? You know that kid in school who's always like really, really quiet? And there's a bully that keeps on picking on him until everybody finally finds out that kid got them hands? I'm that kid that got them hands. So let's have a little story time about Molly on First Take. See, Molly came at me last night for I don't know how many times, from a fake account. And she was making fun of me. But she didn't know that I know who she is. And so I told her, like Stephen told her, to stop calling him S.A. But she wouldn't listen. And I told her not to do it again or I was going to air her out. And so she decided to get on First Take today to do it. So let me tell you a little bit about Molly and why she calls Stephen S.A. Molly actually falsely accused Stephen of sexual harassment. This was after he rejected her advances because I guess she thought that he didn't really love me. Anyway, so let's go back about Molly. See, Molly was the one who actually planted the story about her and Stephen having an affair. When Stephen wanted to address it, his bosses told him not to. Molly blamed that on Jalen, her ex-husband. But it was really Molly. Molly was jealous because, see, Jalen told Molly not to move to Connecticut, but she didn't listen. And then she got mad at the results. So then she decided to go after Stephen A. after she saw him coming up even more. Well, baby, she didn't know that Stephen A. is all about Nikita. So anyway, she plants this story and she thought it was going to faze me, but it didn't, because the one thing I know about my man, he likes all the assets. And she ain't got none. Anyway, so she let it play out. And so when it didn't come, I told Stephen at that moment, I said, you should nip this in the bud because she is going to claim you harassed her. And he said, no, my bosses told me not to. And there's another story about those bosses that actually are trying to sabotage Stephen A. at ESPN, but I'll talk about that later. So today, Molly was the one who did it. She planted the story. She falsely accused Stephen. And apparently she didn't think I was about this life. But baby, I'm about this life. See, Stephen should have told you, not only am I a banking expert, I'm an IT expert. And on top of that, I was the EEO director at the FDIC. Now, you better come again before you come correct, before you come at me. Because I'd rather be growing my baby. But
Wow. Wow. Okay. Where do we start here? Let's go ahead and break it down here. So this young lady is claiming that she has some type of relationship with Stephen A. Smith, claiming that they're together. She's insinuating that. And if this is her in the picture, it looks like her in the picture. Unless this is some excellent photoshopping, and this woman is doing some wild stuff like that. It looks like this is her and Stephen A. Smith in the picture. Now, the reason why I gotta be careful with this is because I'm saying claimed and alleged, because just because somebody has a picture or multiple pictures with somebody doesn't mean that they are in a relationship with the person. All right, this is one of those internet tricks that a lot of people do. People go to meet and greets, they go to places where other people frequent, take a few pictures and stuff like that, and then they tell stories years later about how they knew this person, and it sounds believable because they have multiple pictures with said person. Or this woman could just be telling the truth, and all this stuff she's saying is true about Molly and Stephen A. Smith. Or she could have dated Stephen A. Smith in the past, and then they broke up, and she's had some type of mental health crisis, and she still believes they're together. Anything could be true. We don't know. But we're going to talk about it because Stephen A. Smith doesn't miss a moment to talk about everybody else's business. I mean, he don't miss a beat in talking about everybody else's business. So let's deal with it now, shall we? Uh, I find her story hard to believe. Okay, uh, uh, some of it sounds believable, some of it doesn't. Um, she says Molly's been stalking her online from different accounts. Now that might be true. That might be true. She said Molly was making fun of her because Molly didn't believe Stephen A. really loved her. Hmm, that sounds believable. Because if she's on social media calling herself Mrs. Stephen A. Smith, I can see Stephen telling Molly some stuff like, "Oh, that's some old work, that's some my old ex girl, and she can't get over it." I can see Molly because women get petty like that. I can see her having a ghost account, playing with this woman, and this woman having some tech savvy situation, and her digging into that and finding out it's Molly. Okay. Now, as for the ESPN stuff, Molly allegedly accusing Stephen A. of SA of assault or harassment or some type of not assault but harassment. If she's accusing him of harassment, I find that part hard to believe because um, I don't see Stephen A. Smith wanting to work with her on his show if she had ever accused him of that. Now I could be wrong, but if she had accused him of that, I would think Stephen A. Smith would be like, "Yo, she can get off my show straight up. If she feels uncomfortable, if she feels like anything like that, she can go." And by the way, if this happened back then, if she accused Stephen A. back then, they've been awful cozy and comfortable with each other since then. So that's why I find it hard to believe. Like, Stephen A. Smith is too comfortable around Molly for this story, for it to have happened that way. And I don't see ESPN, a company worth all that money, leaving to a woman in a position to where she claimed she was harassed in that manner. I don't see them leaving them. I think they would have moved somebody. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But you never know nowadays. In the days of social media now, stories like this come a dime a dozen. Everybody claims that they know. This is why I'm telling y'all. This is why I don't like taking pictures with people. Um, you know, because people once you take pictures, you can have a little one night stand, a fling with a chick or something, and then she wants you. Oh, you had you a couple of shots in you or something. And she's like, "Oh, I want to take a picture" or something like that. You ain't thinking before you know it. This chick got a picture with you, and she claiming you her baby daddy. Oh, you and her used to mess around back in the day. Like, man, look, I was with that girl one night. Nah, ain't what I heard. She said that she was pregnant by you 2 times, and you paid for the surgery. Like, what? What? But that's the power of a photo. With a photo, you can say anything you want to say. You see what I'm saying? You can tell any story you want to tell with a photo. And it's going to be some type of validity. People have to give a listen because of what the picture says. So, y'all let me know what y'all think, if y'all believe the story or not. Me personally, this story has actually been out here for over a month. This woman has been on social media. Well, I'll say this way. About a month ago, she is when people started talking about her about a month ago. But she seems to be an accomplished woman, a professional woman. But that doesn't mean because she's accomplished and professional that she couldn't have some type of issues upstairs between the ears. She might have some issues like that, you know what I mean? Or maybe everything she's saying is absolutely true and it just sounds unbelievable, you know what I mean? But either way, I find it hard to believe a man of Stephen A. Smith's uh, popularity and caliber would allow a woman to be on social media calling herself Mrs. Stephen A. Smith if they're not married. I just find it hard to believe. But anyway, like I said, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. 7A Sports TV, salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash that like button, share the video. And above all things, make sure y'all sign to the Patreon, patreon.com/78 Sports TV. That's patreon.com/78 Sports TV. Come on over here and get some of that good game. Subscribe to the channel. We're up out of here. Deuces.